Good day, everyone, especially to all of my ASF 1101 beloved students from all over the world, and most especially here from Mindanao. I welcome you today. This is a very important video shoot on the Sui Generis Leadership Module under ASF 1101 courseware. So, hep hooray to everyone, and today we're very privileged because we have here in our convo today, Attorney Nicole Batingana. Nick, say
Hi.
greet everyone.
Hello.
Okay, so without much further ado, we would like to ask your indulgence to share with our beloved students your experience so far. Kano sa ba ka ni-graduate? When was the year of graduation from high school? Let's begin your journey from Ateneo High School, and then you introduce your batch. Okay?
Okay, so I graduated in 2001 from Ateneo de Davao High School, and then I went on to college at Ateneo de Manila University. I graduated in 2005, then I took up my law studies immediately after, and I graduated in 2009.
Maybe we can tell them you graduated with honors so we can inspire. I have students who are architecture, and I also have political science students, those who would also want to follow in your footsteps. Can we share with them your little victories in Ateneo de Manila? Paano mo kinaya yun?
Yun lang. because I was very interested in law. That's why it was not a very difficult journey for me. I enjoyed my law school time. So, and during law school, I was also working part-time at a law firm. So I was very excited to become a lawyer. So I had to make sure that I passed all my subjects, and my journey towards being a lawyer as smooth as possible.
That's Ateneo de Manila. That is something, okay? So maybe we can mention maybe some teachers who have made a mark on your life, maybe from Ateneo High School. Meron ka bang naaalala, no? Meron bang mga tagline like to be men and women, chuba,
Of course,
chuba,
Sir
etc.
Nelson was my music teacher in high school. And actually, all the teachers naman in high school, no, my Ateneo formation is very important to me. And it really shaped how I am now, no, even in how I look at life and how I make my decisions. Nako jud siya because it shaped my faith also.
Wow.
So in college, it was we had theology subjects already that time. So it my knowledge of my faith is deeper, and it's also allowed na since I was independent not naman independent, but I was living part of my family that time. It gave me a chance to really explore my faith on my own without the influence or the of course ang influence akong parents will always be there, pero it made me explore my faith by myself. Ako ang my own tendencies. Kana. So and then in law school, I of course ang pinaka memorable na kong professor is si Father Joaquin Bernas.
Wow. Constitutional
yeah,
law expert.
constitutionalist, and he died recently already.
We'll move on with our convo this day to college life journey. So this is now Ateneo de Manila journey. Paano mo kinaya? You were working part-time, you were achieving academically, you were away from family. So can you share with us specific mga aha moments of your faith in your college life journey?
Okay. So I only worked when I was in law school already. So in college, I was a full-time student. But I realized then na when I was in high school, Monggod, I had a lot of questions about my faith. And si Mama is very religious, no? Very active in the church, and she also wants us, her children, to be active also in church activities. So she pushed us to join Bible studies, youth camps,
Yeah,
no? And
good.
back then, because I was such an introvert, it was I resented her for it
I
at that
understand.
time, no?
Mhm.
And I once told her, na, you, eh, faith shouldn't be forced. We have to to explore our own faith on our own, so that it will be genuine,
Yeah.
and sincere.
Mhm.
So in college, I was able to do that.
Good.
And even though I did not understand why we had to go to church,
Yeah.
what the host was for, etc. No? So although I had catechism, it really absorbed. Uh, so siguro, it's a credit to my mom also. Na
Yes.
ang influence niya stayed with me
Very good.
even when I was away, no? Without any pressure from my parents. So I went to church. I was naturally drawn to the Eucharist. So when I was I had a spare time during lunch, which was the daily mass, no, 12 noon, sa chapel, sa college chapel, I would go and hear mass almost daily.
Very
And
good.
one of my most memorable experiences in college was in the Church of the Jesu,
Yeah.
because it was
Love that.
erected only when I was in third year of college. So when it was finished, and then the Christmas season came, and they held simbang gabi every night. So I was able to attend, and I was able to complete the 9 simbang gabi for the first time, no, when I was there in college. And it became my panata every year, even though I transferred to Makati for law school. I would take time to go there, at least attend one of the 9 simbang gabi masses.
That's very
there.
good. For all of our students who are listening, it's very important because Saint Ignatius's conversion experience, it will remind us of the centrality of the Eucharist. And it is shown in the life of Attorney Nicole. No? So mga anak, no? Laban lang, kapit lang po sa Panginoon. Thank you, Nick, for sharing that. When you mentioned Church of Jesus, we were also able to go there with my daughter. No? Now, let's move on. No? So, level up na tayo, Nick, ha? These are now specifics, no? Because, the journey of the Ateneo way is really none other than the Jesus' way. And maybe in your journey from Ateneo de Davao High School, this is 2001, am I correct? No? Until Ateneo de Manila, and then henceforth, no? Do you recall some very specific Ignatian moments? Yes, when you first learned of Saint Ignatius and the companions and the man and woman for others, etc., etc., and finding God in all things, something like that.
Actually, I cannot remember one specific moment or a specific memory, but what really impressed upon me was the men and women for others, and magis.
Wow.
So, no, I don't know. It's sort of, I don't know if I was just naturally inclined to for that kind of philosophy
Yeah.
about serving others, because that's what inspired me also to want to become a lawyer.
Good.
No, I was looked up to my father. I see him entertain clients
Yes.
here at
Yes.
home, and with clients just bringing from the provinces, bringing whatever they could just to pay my father.
Yeah.
No? But although my father doesn't ask for any payment, no?
Mhm.
So that inspired me.
Good.
And so the Ignatian spirituality actually fit my
Right.
my own philosophy also in life. So from high school to college to law school,
Yes.
that was the mantra, no? And that was the goal also for me to be true to that men and women for others maxim, and the magis to always give more and more.
Not to settle for anything less.
Yes.
Why I can say that, no, mga anak, those who are paying attention now, because Nicole, I have had the privilege to handle Nicole in our very own Vicariate School of Theology night classes. No? And I was a witness to that. Nicole is one such prolific writer, and you should learn from her. Huh? Write well and serve well. Now thank you so much. These are beautiful keywords. These are deep Ignatian spirituality terms and, moments. And we would always feel very, very eternally grateful, no, if our students really remember that. Magis, no, the longing to do more, no, not settling for anything less, and also to be men and women for others, most especially for Mindanao. So, padung na tayo Mindanao, no? But before going to the IP discernment route, no, I'd like to ask you, what prompted you or what led you, no, to your life's calling, finding your life's purpose? No? Because these men and women of the first years, no, will really learn a lot from you because they will have to go through those stages. No? What prompted you? So this is now movement from profession to seeing my profession as a vocation, anak. Huh? So something like that.
Okay. So I mentioned earlier, that I was inspired by my father to become, who himself was a lawyer. So to become a lawyer myself, and I was so excited to become a lawyer. So I really pursued hard, no, to achieve that.
Good.
And but then, no, it's not all a bed of roses.
Yes.
So the very first year, or even before the results of the bar exams came out, I experienced a burnout because after the bar exams, I already worked full time at a law firm, Makati law firm.
Wow.
So it's very heavy litigation. So it's the usual.
Like you go to court,
Yeah,
appear
prepare
yourself in
readings,
court.
and they have to work long hours like that. So I experienced burnout, and I started questioning. Even before I became a lawyer, I was already questioning the career path that I was taking. So, but then the results came out, and I was very happy to be a lawyer. And because it was an answered prayer, I've been praying for that since I was a child, very young. So I was happy, but I had to reassess where I should take my law career. So it was very clear for me at that time that it wasn't the law firm route.
Yeah.
So I had a crisis actually, because I had to go into discernment, but at that time I really didn't know how to discern yet. The real discernment. So I transferred to Davao City. I came home, and I was thinking that maybe if I could cater to individual clients instead of corporations, then maybe somehow I could feel more fulfilled in doing that. So I joined a small practice here in Davao City, and then it still wasn't. Something was still missing. I wasn't fully satisfied or content, and but I stayed there, at that law office for quite some time because I didn't know where to go, where else to go. So, and I tried applying for NGOs here in Davao City, but they were not hiring lawyers, so it's very difficult. And I swore off government work. I promised myself I won't enter government. So, but and then so I had a huge crisis at that time, and then I joined BST, Theology, Baccalaureate School of Theology. That's where I met Teacher Nanan. And it was through there that I realized that to know what would make me happy, I had to consult, or actually it had to come from, I had to get direction from the one who made me, or my creator.
That's beautiful.
So that's when that's what I realized during my theology classes that time. And that's when I think that was the time when God saw siguro that I was ready for
something else.
for something else. I was ripe for his action
Oh.
in my life. And because that was also the first time that I really felt God was working in my life personally.
Wow.
Because before
Mm-mm.
that, I always saw God at a distance.
Yeah,
No? Although I went to mass every day or almost every day, it wasn't really a personal relationship, intimate relationship with Him. So that's when I started feeling His presence in my life. And so that's when I was really ready to receive His graces.
Very good.
So, uh, so the revelation that I
Yes.
received from Him was for me to enter the religious life.
Wow, amazing.
So,
Kung meron kang theme song sa part na yan ng buhay mo, if you had a theme song, anak, no, what would that be?
siguro before the revelation,
Yes.
it would be Pilgrim's Theme.
Yeah, beautiful.
I
Father
played
Johnny,
that at the
go.
when I was still working at the Makati Law Office. I would play that almost every day, because that's how I felt. I didn't know where I fit in this world.
Amen.
So, and then when I found found out about His calling to me to enter religious life, I don't know for what reason or for how long.
Yeah.
So, siguro ang theme song ko nun is Something More by Lea Salonga.
I like that. It's
That's
also,
what my batchmates and I sang during our entrance into postulancy. So, I joined the Franciscan Sisters of the Immaculate Conception. And then, so I had religious formation. So, in religious formation, they make sure that you are ready
Yes.
for the religious life. So, they had to prepare you. You have to go through human and spiritual formation.
Yes.
So, not just
And it's not easy.
teaching you how to pray or how to do ministry, but you have to have psychologically, mentally, emotionally prepared for that. So you have to be mature enough for that vocation. So I enjoyed and I'm grateful for that experience, for my religious formation, because I learned a lot about myself, and I discovered that I could do more. It brought me out of my shell.
Yes.
All that. But it wasn't easy. There were difficult moments because you realize some ugly truths about yourself also.
Yes.
And then when I was in my novitiate, I heard about my father's illness. So he was critically ill, and I didn't know when the Lord will take him. So I decided to come home and be with him. And then 2 days after I arrived home, he passed.
He went home also to the
He
Father.
went also to the Father. So it seemed that he was also waiting for me, and I was glad for that 2 days that we were together, that I was able to take care of him until his last breath. And after that, for some reason, I was only allowed 15 days as a novice outside the convent. So I had to decide
whether you go back or you stay longer.
Yes. And at that time, I don't know. For some reason, I felt that I needed to stay with my mom.
Yes.
So that's what I did. I talked to my superior, to our provincial superior, and I told her that I'm not going back to the convent. And that's it. And then, but I did that with a heavy heart because I was happy inside the convent. Although it wasn't easy, but especially in the novitiate, I felt at peace. The environment really gave me the opportunity to be closer to God. And then after that, adjusting
Yes.
to life as a lay
Outside.
was very difficult.
Mm.
Um, I had to start from scratch, learning my way around
Yes.
life outside the convent.
Mm.
And I sort of felt some disappointment
Mm-hmm.
in myself and in God also, because
Mhm.
I was asking myself, why did He have to let me go through
Mm-hmm.
religious formation and then
Only to get out.
yes, get out and return to back to zero
Mhm.
again.
Mm.
So I was so confused. I didn't know what to do, but I felt that there was a need to find work and earn a living.
Because you were away.
Yes.
I'll cut you short there because now let's move on. No? Mga anak, no, we are at the time, a very challenging time of the pandemic. And this online shift has not been easy. So we'll ask the point of view of Attorney Nicole. No? How has she been transformed? Paano ka binago ng pandemyang ito, Nicole, in many areas of your life? And i-connect na natin ha. What is the role of your Ignatian spirituality that you have received, the formation that you have received, especially in adjusting to this kind of life? We don't know when will this end. No? We are still here. We are still locked down. And what is the role of faith in this endeavor?
I think the one grace that was I received during this pandemic is the realization or the reminder of how important a prayer life is.
Beautiful.
Because at the beginning of the pandemic, during the ACQ, and we were stuck in the house, we couldn't really go out. I tried to recreate my convent life.
Wow.
So we had my mom, and my sister, we would say morning prayers, the Christian prayer. So just like in the convent, we would pray the morning prayer, midday prayer,
Wow. And the night
midday
prayer.
and then the vespers, evening
That's
prayer. Evening prayer, and of course rosary every day.
And then
we would
online
pray that.
masses.
Yes, every
Very
day
good.
also
Very
online
good.
masses.
Okay.
So that was a very peaceful moment
Lockdown.
for me. Yeah, during the lockdown, it gave me an opportunity, my family, an opportunity to pray also for everyone during this pandemic, because we would have intercessions during our vespers and rosary. We would pray our intentions, and we would also have our brothers who are far away or
Yeah.
in Davao to join us through
Zoom. This is
not
Zoom.
Zoom,
Google
Facebook,
Facebook.
Messenger,
Messenger,
Yeah,
video
Messenger
calls.
video calls, so that we could pray together.
Very good. Very
So,
good.
of course, the ACQ ended and we had to go back to work, but still, not we don't need to go to work 5 days a week. So we had skeletal workforce. So I work at home 2 days every week,
And then you
and
go to the
so it was so there's an opportunity for me to really get back on my prayer life, because I lost that when I left the convent. It was hard for me to adjust, and I realized how important prayer really is.
Amen.
And
Amen.
to be praying with your family.
Amen. Saint Ignatius must be beaming with pride from heaven. And this is the last already. So Nick, it will be like a closing statement. But I'd like you to tell them your present work. And then maybe the joys and sorrows, and maybe to challenge them. They be able to also find their life's purpose. A little bit background for Mindanao serving people.
Okay, so after I left the convent, that was in October, I had to look for work. So I felt an urgency to look for work immediately. And so in November, I rejoined my former boss and her small practice here in Davao. So I joined her again. And then the next year in February, I started looking for other work because I felt the need earn more. No, because my father was the main breadwinner.
That's
Yes,
correct.
of the family, and since he was gone already,
Yes.
I had to step up also.
Yes, very good.
Contributing to our finances. So I promised myself I won't work in government, but then I realized that I had to let go of that.
The bias
Yeah,
against
the bias, and because there is something more important here than my preferences. So and again, I tried to look for jobs also in NGOs, but they were not hiring.
Yeah.
Still, so I had nowhere to go but government. So when I tried to look for when I searched for vacancies in the government here in Davao, the only vacancies were two. One was MINDA, Mindanao Development Authority,
And
and
Doreza, no?
yeah, before, and then NCIP, National Commission on
Indigenous Peoples.
And I felt that God's hand was at work because it was NCIP is, although it's government, but the work is sectoral. You cater to the IT sector, so it was there was a similarity to what I wanted to do with
Very
the NGO work. So so I applied, and NCIP called me for an interview, and I was accepted. So
Because you're brilliant.
No, because there are
Go on.
only it's very rare for lawyers to apply at
That's
NCIP
correct.
for some reason.
Yes, and Ateneo de Manila graduate is here. So who are we to say no to Nicole? Yes, I'm
So-
saying that as a teacher.
Okay, so
But that's
I
good.
got accepted, and then I started working with NCIP. So so I enjoyed, of course, I enjoy my time with NCIP because it allowed me to explore another side of lawyering.
Yes.
How to-
From corporate now to indigenous.
Yes. So it's very fulfilling to serve the IPs, but of course it was there was an adjustment period
Yes.
because this kind of lawyering is not familiar to me.
Yes.
So I had to learn along the way
Very
with the help also of my office mates. So we give because instead of going to court,
Yes.
litigation,
Yes.
what we do is we do information education
Very
campaign
good.
to IPs in their communities. We teach them about their rights.
Rights.
No?
Yes.
Their rights, to capacitate them,
Very good.
to empower them, and to give them trainings, workshops, and aside from that, we also do policy work. So
Good.
we craft policies to implement the law so that they can.
Because there is a law for
Yes.
the IPs.
So that's what we do
That's very
as
good.
lawyers at NCI.
Very good. So we're very privileged, mga anak. We are hearing the testimony of our very own Atenean, Attorney Nicole. No? I've learned so much, no? And trying to synthesize, no, from Ateneo High School to Ateneo de Manila, no, back to Davao, the role of Ignatian spirituality, the role of Saint Ignatius in her life, plus she entered the congregation of the Franciscans. Saint Francis was one of the few saints, no? So when Saint Ignatius was recuperating, he read the Lives of the Saints book, and it transformed 360 degrees the life of Saint Ignatius. So everything happens for a reason. There is no accident in God's divine plan. So Nicole, I'm very proud of you. I'm very blessed, no? As your formator, teacher, all of us are very proud of you. We thank you for sharing your life story. So our first years, our beloved men and women of Ateneo Davao University are enrolled in the online shift. We'll also get to learn from you. So mga anak, kapit lang, laban lang. Like Attorney Nicole, no? It's prayer life, and then family. There might be, disappointments in your crossroads in your life, but with God, nothing is impossible. So to God be all the glory, and hep hep hooray, Mindanao.
Then falling in love in an absolute and final way.